Hey everybody, welcome to another video in our series on how to solve magic cubes. And today we're looking at one of the more difficult cubes. You've got the 7 by 7 by 7 magic cube. Now this cube that I'm holding here is a V cube. As you've seen in my previous videos on the 5 by 5 for example, this is exactly the same as all of the other cubes except for the black face. One side is black and the other side is yellow, as opposed to white and yellow. Now, this cube is one of my favorite. I enjoy this one. You can tell some differences just by looking at it. This cube is called a pillowed cube. So instead of being a perfect square on each face, they're rounded. So they don't sit perfectly. Okay? They bounce, they spin, like so. This is different than a regular Rubik's Cube or a puzzle cube or magic cube because it makes it easier to hold and also easier to turn. This comes in handy when you start to do higher order cubes like the 7 by 7, 8 by 8, and so on and so forth. So you'll want a pillowed cube the bigger the cube gets. This lowers fatigue on your hands and makes it easier to solve larger cubes. You actually will be hard-pressed to find a cube, for example, that is not pillowed, that is 13 by 13 by 13. So if you're looking for one, the V-Cube pillowed 7 by 7 cube is a great choice. This is an advanced video on how to solve a higher order puzzle cube, and in order to solve this one you're going to need some knowledge on how to solve the smaller sized cubes, because you're going to find 3 by 3s, 4 by 4s, and 5 by 5s, and of course the 6 by 6 inside of a 7 by 7. So in order to solve this cube, you're going to need to know how to solve the 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, and a little bit of the 6 by 6 as well. Now, if you are interested in seeing those videos, I have them posted up on my channel, so be sure to check them out if you'd like. Some things to keep in mind with this cube is that it is a 7 by 7, so that means it is an odd numbered cube. If it's an odd number cube, then it has a fixed center piece. This black face, this V symbol right here, is always going to be here no matter what you do to the cube. It's never going to move this centerpiece. That way you know what color you're working with, even if you forget. Because it is an odd number cube, you're only going to be dealing with edge parity. You will not be dealing with corner parity. So that takes away one possible step in your cube solving process. Now when it comes to the higher order cubes like the 6 by 6, 5 by 5, 7 by 7, it's going to be harder and harder to remember the algorithms that you need based on the notations that are usually used to teach these. So having said that, I am as usual going to forego the specific notations of left, capital L, down prime, and all of those types of notations, and we are going to focus more on where specific pieces are moving in relation to each other. I think it's an easier way to learn, and you'll be able to remember what you're doing if your brain just turns off in the middle of solving this cube. So that's everything you need to know about the cube, and now let's mix it up. Okay, good and mixed. So as we've always done when we're solving the cube, first our step is to first solve the center piece, then solve the edge pieces, then solve the corners. Now this is a huge centerpiece. The centerpiece is 5 by 5 across, so we're basically doing a whole 5 by 5 face inside of the 7 by 7. Keep that in mind. This is going to take you a while, even though there's nothing really special about this process. We're just, finagling our way into getting all of these pieces to be the same color. So I'm going to choose black as my first piece, first centerpiece. And what we're going to do is we're going to solve 1 strip, 2 strip, 3 strip, 4 strip. Okay, leaving 1 strip for last. So I'm going to ignore all of these black pieces now because they are worthless. What I first want to do is make sure that there are 2 pieces here and one piece here or one piece here to start my first strip. Okay, so I'm going to look for like middle center pieces. So middle center, middle center, middle center, middle center. So let's look for these pieces, and we're going to put them together with this V. Here's one. So I just need this piece to slide over to the other way, and this is exactly how we've done this the entire time we've solved all of these cubes. We're just going to pretend like this is a black face. This is the black center piece, and we need to get this piece over there. So it belongs right there, and I'm just going to turn it, and now they're together. Okay, and if I want to start the strip like so, I just need to rotate the front face, and now I suddenly have one piece and one piece intact. Okay, so now let's look for this piece next. Here's one. So we need to get this piece all the way over there. We're just going to do the same process as before. We want to go this way. So we need to move this piece out of the way because it's never going to meet the other side unless we rotate up, and now we can send it around. So let's send it, okay, and we can send it around here. But we have a problem because we don't want it here, we want it here. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it like here and like here. And then we're going to send it upwards and then downwards. So let's try that. Send it up. Okay, now it's up here, and we got to get it down here. And all we got to do is just rotate it down. And there are your first 3 pieces. Not bad. Now we're going to get one piece here or one piece here, and I think I want to try this one. So I want to see if this might go here or here. And let's try and see if it would do that. How can I test that? I'm going to send it up, rotate it, and then bring it down. So send it upwards, rotate it, not yet, rotate it again, okay, and now it would be here. So let's check to see if that is where we need it to be. Oh, it's not. So clearly we can't use a piece here. We need to find another piece that would go here. So let's keep on looking. How about nothing here? Okay. How about this one? This one would probably work. So again, we cannot just slide it because it's never going to meet the face it wants to go to. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to first rotate it, okay, and then try to bring it over. So let's see. Now it's over here. Doesn't belong there. All right. Well, what if we just send it up? So I'm going to send it upwards and then bring it back down. And there's your first black strip. Okay, nothing to it. We're going to repeat this process for the next strip, or really any strip we want, as long as we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lined up over here. So I'm going to work with maybe this one and look for some middle row pieces like that. So first I'm going to be doing a lot of turning up. If I'm doing a lot of turning upwards, I'm going to rotate this like this so that I'm not going to cut this when I move the cube. So this is going to go to meet these guys. Great. And now I can find maybe this piece. So I'm going to rotate this, then rotate this. Then I'm going to take one of these and bring him up to meet him. Okay, great. We don't want the full line because we want to save one strip for last. Then we want to find our black face here. Then we have this face here. Just a case of rotating once and sending it upwards now that they're meeting. Okay, so let's get rid of some of these black pieces from there. Oh, I can't really do that. Let's do another strip. So let's do this one. Okay, rotate it here. I want to send this one over here maybe. Maybe this one. Okay, let's first, maybe this can go here. Okay, whatever you do, just make sure that you're not messing up your side with the two strips. Just be careful of that. So we have, how about a corner piece, maybe? Corner piece here. And then corner piece can go right over there. Now we need a more of an edge piece, like maybe this one. Okay, won't really work. Maybe this one. That one would work. So let's bring that one over, meet his buddies. Then we just send that one up. Great, all done. Now we have another set over here. We're running out of black pieces, which is great news. So we have two already done. Let's see if we can get a piece over there. Okay, that won't work. Maybe if I turn it like this, okay, and then bring him over. Nah, that won't work either. So let's keep moving. Move that out of the way. Move that here. Move that here. Okay, lined up one. So like I said, you're just basically finding anything you can do, any moves you can make to line things up. That's what you should be doing at this point. You're not really messing anything up. There's barely anything to mess up now. So just you know, freewheel it. So I'm going to take this one, maybe one of these. Here. Great. So one more piece to send up. Okay. So you might encounter a situation where you've solved one strip here, and when you want to bring it up to this strip, you find that, you know, you want to bring it up here, and now you have this thing up here, but you have a piece there already, okay? This is a bit of a problem because if you just bring this one up, you've just swapped places with this guy. Turn this one into a 5 strip. This might happen sometimes. And look, I have another strip already solved here for you, you know, ahead of time. And if I put this up here, that can fit, okay? But this one just won't fit. So what you can do is you can keep this like so instead of lining them up like this, and we're going to fill in this strip right now. So let's find that. We're going to bring this up here. Okay, then we're going to take a corner piece. Let's take this corner piece. Okay, and we're going to give this corner piece to the top. Okay, so now we have a corner piece here, and we've solved the 5 strip. Now what I can do is I can bring this down out of the way, and I can continue to work with the remaining strips. So I have a strip here. Let's see if maybe I can put it in right here. So I can do that. Okay, so now I have 4 of the possible 5 strips done, not counting this already completed. So let me solve the final remaining strip, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4. We have one here. Don't want to mess that up. Don't want to mess that up. Okay. Rotate like this. Rotate like this. So they want to meet. Okay, not messing anybody up. Oh, I might be. Okay, so just be careful. We have to take this and bring it up here, and we don't want to mess up these. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up, okay, rotate out of the way, and then bring that strip back down, and now everything is fine, just like in the smaller sized cubes. Okay, now let's keep going. We have, let's see, not too many pieces left. There should be one more. Here it is. So we have this one here, and we want to bring it to meet this one. So we're going to be careful not to mess up that strip. Bring it down. Okay. Rotate out of the way, and then bring that back up. Okay. Great. Almost done. Now we just have to bring this to meet these guys. And we can do that by just rotating this sideways once and moving that. And now one more strip, which we've already solved. Hopefully still okay. Yep, there it is. Bring that down, and you have solved your first black face. Now that you've solved the first center face that you have, we can move to the opposite side of this cube. This centerpiece here, this is black, so the opposite face is going to be yellow. Over here, if you forget, the center cube is always going to be the color of the face. So we're going to solve yellow, and the same principles that we used to solve black, we're going to solve yellow as well. Now, for the sake of time, this is going to take a while, and solving a 7x7 cube is not a fast process. So I'm just going to speed through this situation, and we're just going to do exactly what we've done in the past with the 4x4 and the 5x5. So be sure to check out those videos if you're not sure what we're doing or if anything is a bit unclear. Okay, here we go. So just one thing to remember, I have one piece already done here. I need to take this and put it opposite of black. Black is down here, so I want it up here. So what I need to do is I need to send it up, spin it around, and then send it back down so that I don't interfere with this completed face. So what I need to do is, and you've seen this before, I'm sure you have, we're going to send it upwards, so rotate it up. Okay, now it's here. Now we want to bring this back down. So we need to rotate this piece until there's something that we don't care about. So we rotated it once, we don't care about this strip. So let's bring that strip downwards again, and we haven't messed up anything. Black face completed, and yellow centerpiece, well, yellow face surprisingly has 5 in a row, like this. So we're not going to care about that too much, but we're going to keep on going in that same pattern. Okay, so I solved this metal strip here, center first, and now I solved all the other strips for the most part. 1, 2, I have 2 here, I have 2 here. So what I need to do is I need to send these upwards without messing up the bottom face, and this is exactly what we've been doing for all of the cubes so far. We're following the same guidelines. So what we're going to do is we're going to send this upwards, rotate it around, and then send it back down so we don't mess up this. Okay, so throw it up, rotate it until we see stuff that we don't care about. So we don't care about anything that isn't yellow. So these 2 are not yellow. Let's bring them back down, and now we have these yellows up here. We have another set of yellows here. Okay, so let's see if we can move those up here, send it up. Okay, and if we rotate it and rotate it and rotate it, finally we have something we don't care about, then we can bring that back down. Okay, next what we need to do is we need to see if this can go in here somehow. But we have a problem that we've encountered in the past where we just can't get this to line up with this. There's a gap there. If you haven't gone crazy yet and you're still with me, this is a problem. We can't fit a strip in here without just destroying this and starting from scratch. There is a way around this though, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So as you can see, if you remember from my first instructions were make these strips first, then make this strip last. The key is with the 7x7, things are a little bit different. Because there are so many pieces, you get a lot of asymmetry and mixed up pieces all the time. So what you need to do is, instead of solving this one as 5, we're going to solve this one as 5. Okay, and what that means is we need to first solve 1, 2, 3, and 4, and leave a gap for this 5. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to make sure that there are 5 here. So let's get the 5th one, and the 5th one is right here. Okay, so let's bring the 5th one over. Okay, so it's not a case of having one or the other, it's a case of having all of them. Okay, and we're just going to leave it. We're not going to use it yet. Okay, now we're going to deal with this strip. This strip needs 1, 2, 3, and 4, but not a color right here. So I've already done that for you. As you can see, I've made the strip as it should be. 1, 2, 3, 1 space, and 4. All we need to do is bring that up here. And there is a strip. 1 strip, 2 strip, 3 strip, 4 strip. All of these are identical, so that if you look at it like this, or if you look at like this, they're the same, okay? Leaving only 1 strip to deal with, and that is your final 5 strip here. So let's try it again. What we want to do is we want to line up yellow with yellow, and it will show up over here if we do the algorithm that we know. So let's try it out. So lined up here, and rotate up, rotate around, and then rotate back down, and you have solved your face. So you have yellow face completed, black face completed. Now we want to deal with the remaining faces and their centerpieces, and we have to solve them all. The way we're going to do it is the same way we've done them so far. We are going to do them one at a time in a clockwise or counterclockwise motion, but we don't want to do opposites anymore. As long as you don't do opposites, your life is going to be much easier, and your work is going to be much easier, and everything will be much easier if you don't do this one and this one. We're going to do 1 and 2. And then we're going to do 1 and 2 at the same time. Now, for the sake of time, I could just sit here and actually do this and fast forward it and give you some polka music, but this thing is a grueling piece of work, and if I were to sit here and record that, it's just going to be way too long, and my arms are going to kill me. So I'm just going to use some movie magic, and when I snap my finger, I have magically solved 2 faces with no problems. Now we can solve the last 2. Now to do this, we are using the classic and my favorite algorithm, the down over, down back over, up back over. Okay, and keep in mind that you can actually use this algorithm at any point in the cube solving process in order to solve specific pieces, swapping 2 specific pieces. You can solve this during any point during the center making process. You can do it when you're solving this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one. It just makes the best use of your time when you're using it with the last 2 faces. This is an algorithm that if you've been watching my videos, you should be very familiar with by now. We are going to move strip by strip. Okay, depending on where the tile moves, we are going to go downwards and then go over. Okay, and then we're going to find where the piece moved and then move that one downwards, and then we go back over, and then we reverse the process. So we go up and then over, and then we go up and then back over, and we'll have flipped 2 or more pieces with each other. Okay, so we're going to solve the last 2 faces at the same time. Just as usual, we have red here and we have green here, center green, center red. So let's try it. We want to have as much red on this face as possible, but if you don't want to do that part of the process, you don't have to. You can just start from the algorithm. So let's try that. We have, let's see. Let's start with, I don't know. We have green here, so let's get rid of this red. Okay, this red piece here is going to swap with a green piece in the same position relative to this one. So we have a green piece here we can do it with. We have a green piece here. Okay, maybe this one. And we're going to swap this piece with this piece. So here we go. This strip alone is going to go down, and then whole thing over. So you're going to have to focus on this piece and follow the movement it makes on the cube. So downwards, this one only, down, okay, and then over. So remember, it's this piece. Over goes here, now it's over here, okay, down, over. Now we're going to move this layer down, Okay, and then we're going to send it back over. Okay, and then if we're looking for what we just moved, well, this is a red and green face, no? So why is orange here? So if you forgot what layers you moved, and it gets more complicated with the 7x7, look up here for the colors that are mismatched. So we're going to move this strip and this strip back up. So here we go. Now we go up and then over with the front face, and then one more up and then back over with the front face. Okay, and now we have red piece here and well, the green piece is over here, but that's okay. We've actually swapped the pieces. Okay, so we can keep on doing that with as many of these pieces as we like. However, I have a green strip here, so I'm just going to send that up because it's just easy. I have a red strip here, so you want to line up what you want to be here. So if I want green to go up there, and I want red to go down here, well, I want junk up here. So I'm going to rotate the red over here, and the green stays. Now we're going to send it up, we're going to send it around, and then we're going to send it back. That's just the easiest way to solve this strip. Now we have much more green on this side. Instead of just moving one piece at a time, let's move a few pieces, and specifically let's move 2 pieces at a time. So we have red here, and we have green here, 2 pieces. So what we're going to do first is we're going to move the strip down as usual and then over. But instead of moving one strip, we're going to follow the pieces and see where they go, and we might move 2 strips instead. So for example, let's try it. So down, over, down, and then these are the 2 pieces, so follow them as they go over. Down, over, now they're here. Now we're going to move not just 1 strip, but 2 strips. So down, over, and then both of these are going down, okay, and then back over. All right, now if you're trying to remember what you moved and you can't remember, I forgot, I have no idea what I'm looking at, well, look here, you have an orange and an orange and an orange. So we moved 1 and 2 and 3. So when we move it back up, we're only moving back this one, and when we move these back up, we're moving back these. So down, over, down, back over, and now up, and then over, and then these 2 are going back up, and then this is going back over. Okay, now you have red pieces over here, and that's how you do it. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces left to move. We have nothing else that's lined up exactly the same. So we might have to do them piece by piece now, in which case you know that So now we can keep on going. And with a little bit of movie magic, and just like that, using the power of movie magic, I have solved all of these faces for you. All of the colors match, they're all exactly the way they should be, and your center faces, although a bit longer, have been solved in the same way that the smaller sized cubes are solved. Now that you've solved all of your center faces, your next job is, of course, solving the edges. The edges are where you're going to spend most of your time when you're solving this cube. If you thought the center pieces took a long time, and I'm sure that they actually did, just wait until you get to these edge pieces. So in order to do this, we're going to do the same patterns we've done in the past. So first you're going to match up these ones, but then you're going to have to match up these ones with one more here, okay? And then you're going to have to match up these ones with one more here, and then these ones with one more here. Every time you're going to solve these, you're going to solve them in the same way that we have in the past. So let's look again. Here's an example. We're going to start from the center and move outwards to the other edge pieces. So starting with this one, let's do blue and red. Let's look for another blue and red that could be here or here. So blue and red, here's a blue and red. We're going to bring it onto this side. So here's blue and red here. Okay, this is not the way we want it. We want it actually up here. It's a bit easier because we've always been doing it like this. So let's try to move this so that it's over here. How do we do that? Well, we have to remember a few things. First of all, if this face is blue and that face is red, you want this face to be red and this face to be blue. So already we have a problem. How do we fix that problem? We first send this up, then we rotate the front face, and then we rotate this face, the top face. So here we go. Send it up, rotate the front face, and then rotate the top face. Now let's see what happened. Oh, there it is. So red here, blue here, but they go together. So all you need to do is what we always do when we're trying to link these two. You first twist the cube in half, send it this way, then send the piece up here, then send the piece to the back, and then reverse the process. So here we go. Twist right here. Okay, now they're lined up. Now you want to send it to the back, okay, by going up one and then rotating once, okay, and now it's back here, but this is messed up. So let's reverse these two so that we can bring that back to normal and our center pieces are not damaged. And there you go. That's all you're doing. So you're going to do this the whole way around for just 2 of them, okay? Just 2 of them. Not 3 yet, but you're going to do 2, then you're going to do 3, then you're going to do 4, then you're going to do 5. So I'm going to speed up the process one more time, and I'm just going to solve many of these for you, just for the sake of time. And look at that, I've solved most of the edge pieces. Okay, as you can see, many of them are solved, but I'm just going to show you one problem that you might run into. So I have to do the green and orange and the green and orange, and this is a problem you've seen in the past. I'm just showing you one more time. If for some reason you have not seen any of the previous videos, here's what happens. You have the green and orange here, and you're going to do exactly what you've been doing so far. You're going to twist it like this, send it to the back, okay, and then you're going to rotate it all the way. Okay. And you're going to rotate it all the way to the back here, green and orange. Okay. Then you're going to bring this down and reverse the process. But if you reverse the process, you're about to cut one of your solved edges. So you can't do that. Okay. That is a very, very common problem with the edges, and it really does add to your time in solving this cube. So what you have to remember is you have to have garbage pieces up here, and you have to recognize what pieces should be garbage. So if you're moving 1 and 2, and this one is the piece that you're linking, so you want to have garbage in these 2 pieces. What that means is that if you look up here, the garbage pieces should be up here. But clearly, we have very good pieces up here, okay? We have very good pieces here. So if you turn this one around, for example, it's in that spot. So you have to remember that as you're moving it down. So keep that in mind. How about this one? This one is a messed up piece. Nothing here is actually solved except for, these 2. So we could use this one. So what I suggest is, if you're doing this, and it's very early in the stages here, I would move this over here. And now, when I do this, I'm going to go back to what I did before, send it up, if I can. Send it up. Okay, now we're going to send it to the back. When we send it to the back, it's over here. And now this is junk. So let's bring this down, and we can cut that with no problem. Okay, but what if, for example, I want to do yellow and red? So let's look for yellow and red. Yellow and red are over here. Okay, so I'm going to bring yellow and red to meet each other. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Now they're in perfect position. But if I look up here, this is good. If I look up here, this is messed up. Look up here, messed up, and this one is good. Let's say they're all good, and you want to reverse the color patterns up here. If you reverse the color patterns, it's great because then you can cut things up no problem. So the way to do it is this. You want to hold the cube facing you when this is your front face, and you want to rotate any of the top layers. You want to rotate them downwards. Okay, so bring them downwards, so it's over here now. And then you want to rotate it back up. And when you rotate it back up, they have swapped positions. So look at where the green is here. Okay, now I'm going to do that again. Rotate it downwards, and then rotate it back up like an L shape. And now look at where the green is. Now the green is up here. So you can swap the colors that way. Very, very helpful when you get to the later stages of the edge solving process. Okay, so let's say you have another strange situation here. You're solving these edge pieces, and suddenly you come across something like this. So you didn't do this, you don't know how it happened, but you have a yellow and green here, and a yellow and green here, and they're flipped. And you need this piece in order to complete this edge, according to the way that we're doing it. So what we need to do is we need to cut up these two edges. So what we need to do is we need to make sure they're up here so that when we bring them down for another edge, we are cutting these and separating the two. So for example, I have, let's see, how about yellow and red? Okay, so let's solve yellow and red. Here's a yellow and red. Okay, so I'm going to solve these two, but as I'm solving them, I want to have green and yellow somewhere up here so that I can cut them. So where's green and yellow? Green and yellow. These are the pieces I want to mess up. So let's rotate them upwards so that they're in the top layer. And so when I fix these ones, I'm also going to mess up these ones. So here we go. Turn it once, okay, then send it to the back, then look for the green and yellow. Green and yellow is here, rotate here, then we're going to bring that back down, and now we have to cut this up, and it's cut. Now we can actually solve this properly, okay? So if you ever run into that situation, you can always cut things up deliberately instead of accidentally, and that can actually help you solve the cube a bit faster. You should be able to solve each of them without much hassle beyond what I just mentioned. Now what you need to do is you need to solve the third piece. Let's try to match up orange and yellow with a third orange and yellow piece, which would be located here. So I'm going to bring it around so that they're facing each other at least. And so we have two here and we have one here. This should look familiar if when you're dealing with the 5x5 you saw this, and when you're dealing with the 6x6 you also saw this. So same color, incorrect. We want the opposite color over here, so we want yellow on this face. So just like what you're doing, send it up, rotate the front face, and then rotate the top face, and then it's good. So here and here. So now what you want to do is the same process we've been doing so far. Send up one, throw it up, bring that here, okay? Can we bring this down? Will we cut it? We'll cut it, so we don't want to use this one. So let's maybe try this one. Rotate this one downwards. Okay, we're not going to cut anything, and that one is safe. And so now you have solved one of your 3x3 edges. Okay, so let's keep going with these three-sided edges, and we're going to encounter the same problem with be careful not to cut or destroy what you've already solved with these 3x3s. Starting at the center, going outwards. Don't cut up anything here. Make sure that you're always sending garbage pieces downwards. If you've made it this far, congratulations, first of all. I know this is a longer process than all of the other cubes so far. You have, or you should have by now, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 across all of the edges of the cube except for 2. So you have one situation here where you need blue and yellow, but blue and yellow is over here. And you need red and blue, but red and blue is over here. So we can't swap them. Okay. If this were an even cube, you could actually swap them, no problem. There is an algorithm for that. But with the 5x5 cube, since it's an uneven cube, okay, you cannot just cut this in half. So what we need to do is what we did with the 5x5 cube, and also we did this later on with the 6x6. Because this is being reduced to a 5x5 cube, we have to follow the same steps as the 5x5, solving this error. What this error means is that this piece belongs over here, and this piece actually belongs over here. So what we're going to do is this. With the cube facing you like so, we're going to first turn it upside down, so that we have one piece over here, and we have 2 pieces up here. It's going to make the process a bit more easy, and it's going to make things less complicated with fewer variances in the algorithms. So by flipping it over, and we have 1 piece here now, and 2 pieces here, we want to bring these pieces downwards over here. So it should be yellow, 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 like a backwards L shape. So how do we do that? The same way we move any piece upwards is the same way downwards. So we're going to rotate this one up like before. Okay, rotate the front face once, and then rotate the top face once. And now we're looking at exactly what we need. So this piece, and this piece. And we're going to do the same process, move this over here, and mess up one of these layers. So here we go, let's do that. So move it once, okay? Don't worry if it's messed, that's the way it's supposed to be. Send it back up. Okay, rotate it once, send it to the back if we can. Bigger cubes are harder to move. And then reverse the process. And now we are left with this one messed up, this one messed up, and this one messed up. Okay, so if you do it the same way that I did with the one piece over here, there should be no differences compared to what I just did. So what we want to do is we want to have all of the messed up pieces on these faces. So let's bring this back over, and we can work with everything now. Okay, so if you're looking at this cube, front face here, ignore this layer and ignore this layer. We're only concerned with these 3 layers here, okay? And these 3 layers down here. So you have this red and blue should match with the 2 pieces over here, red and blue. Great. This orange and yellow piece should match down there with these 2. Great. And now the messed up color, blue and yellow, should match with the far end down here. Okay, so that's the way it should be lined up. And if you did it exactly the way I just did, it will happen exactly like this. If you use your right hand instead of your left hand, you might get different results. And if you start with 2 pieces here instead of 1 piece, you will have a different result. So if you do exactly the way I did, with 1 piece here, 2 pieces here, then the previous movements, you'll show up with this. When we're holding the cube like this, we're always using our left hands to move this side, rotate like this, and bring it back and twist and all this stuff. With this algorithm, in order to fix these 3 edges, at the same time, we are going to use our right hand majorly for the most part. The way we're going to do it is this. Holding it face like this, messed up pieces up here, messed edge, messed edge. We're going to rotate the whole cube like so. Okay, 90-degree angle clockwise. Then, remember we're focusing on 1, 2, and 3. So this is our bottom layer. We're going to actually bring this downwards to meet these. Then we're going to take this bottom layer, twist it once, okay? Then we're going to take this layer, twist it down, okay? And then we're going to reverse the previous 2 steps. Bring it up, and then bring this back up, okay? And now you have this edge solved, this edge solved, this edge not quite solved. You can see there's clearly a problem here. Okay, and that's it. That's all you have to do. If you follow those steps exactly, you will end up with exactly what I did, and you will show up exactly at this position. We have ourselves our first example of edge parity on the 7x7 cube. So pretending that this is the entire cube, okay, you have problems here and problems here. If you have just this is the cube, you have a 5x5 cube now, and your even layers are the messed up layers. And this is usually the case with every kind of magic cube and puzzle cube. The even layers higher than 3x3 are the ones that give you problems. So in order to solve this, we're going to solve it in the same way that we have done all the other cubes so far. It's the same algorithm, and I'm sure this will look familiar for you if you've been following these videos. We're going to make 2 types of T-shapes. One T-shape like this, okay? And then we're going to make another T-shape like this and this, okay? So 1 and 2, T-shape, okay? We're only dealing with these layers, this layer, this layer, this layer, and the front layer, okay? That's all we're moving, and we're going to solve this problem easily, okay? So follow with me. Every time we move this front face, we're going to move it 2 times. Every time we move this top layer, we're going to move it 2 times, okay? The other ones can move once or twice, but every time we move this one, we will move this one. And every time we move this one, we're going to move this one. Okay, so let's try this out. First, we're going to move this down 1 time. Okay, so move it down once. Then we're going to move the top layer 2 times because we moved it. So 1, 2. Then we're going to move this layer down 1 time. So move this layer down. And then your front face is going to move 2 times. 1, 2. Okay. Next, we're going to take that same face we just used, and we're going to send it back up. So, back up. Okay. And because we moved this one, we're going to move the front face again 2 times. 1, 2. Okay. Next, we're going to be dealing with this layer, and only this layer from now on. This one is done. So we're going to move this one down 1, 2 times. 1 time, okay, and then 2 times. 1, 2. And now we have to move this top layer 2 times because we move this layer, okay? Then we're going to bring this up once, then down once. So up 1 time, and because we moved it up, we have to move this one. 1, 2. Then we move it back down 1. Down 1 time, and we're going to move this one 2 times once again. 1, 2. Okay, so far so good. Your cube is actually looking kind of messed up now. I totally understand that. But let's focus on these center pieces. Okay, centerpiece, there's a messed up piece here, but there's a messed up piece on this side this side, and this side. And it's all a perfect line on this layer, except for this one. So why don't we fix that? We're going to take this and put it with all the other messed up layers by just rotating the front face like so, and now they're all lined up. Okay, now that they're lined up, we're just going to send them back to where they belong. Blue is here, so blue should go on the opposite of green. So let's do that. Move it one time, okay, and then move it one more time, and there you go. So this one is solved, this one is solved, okay? Your parity is all done, okay? No more parity. And that is how you solve that. There are still 2 more layers that require the same steps as we've been doing so far. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep on going. Now that everything is fixed, we can keep on going with this. So 1, 2, 3 is up here. Let's deal with this top layer, and then we'll deal with this bottom layer here. So let's try that again. We have green and orange. Just a reminder what we're doing. Here's a green and orange, and here's another green and orange. I'm going to try this one. Okay, so green and orange here doesn't work. Let's try this one. So rotate it like this, bring it down, and this one lines up with these green and oranges, just that this one is longer. It's the exact same principles, but here we go. We're going to cut, send, send, and then reverse. So back one, send it upwards, rotate it to the back, and then reverse the process. Okay, and now we have 4 solved instead of just 3. And we're going to follow the same principles and the same patterns we've been doing so far in order to solve all of these 4 strips. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, you want to make sure you don't cut your strips as usual. How do you do that? You make sure that if this one is, not what you want to cut, and you want 1, 2, 3, 4 flipped so that you have 1, 2, 3, 4 instead, let's do that. Send this down and then send it back up. So goes down and then back up. Okay, so downwards and then back up, and then as you can see, your 1, 2, 3, 4 is on this side instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. Okay, now that several years have gone by since I've started on this cube, you probably would have completed 1, 2, 3, 4 without any hassle. There shouldn't be any issues with algorithms or problems. You can see that I have 1 left here. That's actually not an issue, and I'll show you why. Let's look for any other edges that also need to be fixed with just 3. Okay, so there's no one else. This is the last guy that is only 1, 2, 3. So let's look for yellow and red. Okay, yellow and red is over here. Okay, there's another yellow and red somewhere. Yellow and red is also here. Okay, so to make your life a bit easier, you want to look for a yellow and red. Okay, here's yellow and red. So we want to do just like we do. We want it up here, and we want the red piece up here. So send it up, twist it once, and twist it one more time. Okay, and now we have it where it belongs. But when we solve this one, we want to make sure that what we bring downwards has a garbage piece up at the top. Okay, so for example, if I were to use this one, there's no garbage piece here. It's good, it's down there. So you have to make sure that there's a garbage piece up here. This one does, okay, and so does this one. So this one has a garbage piece as well. So we're in good shape here. You will never get stuck. Don't feel like you're getting stuck if you have 1, 2, 3 and you have 1 piece left. You should be able to successfully solve all 4 of these edge pieces without any parity issues. And the 5th edge piece is solved in exactly the same way we've been doing so far. So I'm going to do one for an example for you. Let's look at green and yellow, and I'll look for the green and yellow piece. Here's a green and yellow piece. If I just bring it down here, I can easily move that, no problem. But at this stage, you have to be very, very careful that what you're moving up here can be cut. Okay, so this can't be cut up here. You need this piece over here. So this one would work. Okay, so I can bring this one down. You always want to have the wrong piece up here every time you solve these edges. If it's down here, it's a problem. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you're solving this section of the cube. So I'm going to cut this one just like before. Now this is all solved. Send it to the back. Okay, now it's at the back. Now I can't move this one, remember? So I have to twist it one more time. So let's twist it again. I can cut this one. So let's bring this one down and let's cut this. Okay, and now you have one complete edge solved. Keep going until you run into a problem. So with the help of movie magic, I have a little bit of movie magic left in my pocket, and you have now solved all of these face edges. But look at that. We got a problem. Okay, we got a problem. So this can happen once again with these two edges. This is another instance of parity. You have one strip here, two strip here, three strip here, four strip here, and five strips here. So these can also result in the same parity situation. So this can happen. You know how to solve this now, and I hope you do, but just in case you haven't remembered how to do it, I'm just going to show it to you one more time. So this one down one time, this strip down once, and then turn the top one 2 times. This strip is messed up, so let's move that one down once, and then we're going to move the front face down 2 times. Then we're going to send it back up 1. Then we're going to turn it 2 times. Now we're done here. Now let's focus on this. Twist this one down 1, 2, and then twist the top 1, 2. Then twist it back up 1 time, and twist this one 2 times, and then twist it back down 1 time, and this 1 time. So now again, we have these all messed up here. This strip is the messed up strip. So let's rotate like so and bring it down 1, 2. And now all of your edges are finally solved. I don't know about you, but judging by the edges and the centerpiece and the corners, it looks like we have reduced this down to only a 3x3 cube. So why don't we just solve it like a 3x3 cube? Okay, and one more twist, one more twist, and one more twist. And finally, we have solved the 7x7 cube. Now, while I'm sure this looks like it went pretty fast, this took me hours. So I can't imagine, if this is your first time, how long it took you. If you made it through it, congratulations. It was really hard, and it's a long and tedious process to solve this cube. So if you made it through all of the steps, solved all of the edges, and did not tear your hair out with the locking up of this cube, which can be sometimes kind of tight to slide, if you noticed in the video, I had some difficulty moving it, but I hope you got through and you chose a good, acceptable cube. Higher order cubes are harder to move, and I just want to show you a quick comparison between this thing and this thing. Look at the size, and look at what you did here, and look at what you did here. So good job if you've made it this far. We're going to be doing another video, which is 8x8, and I look forward to doing that with you. So stick around, subscribe, like, comment. I'd love to hear from you what you thought of the videos, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.